Okay, so we're talking about the world, right? In a world that's often values speed over substance. How do you see the principles of etiquette creating deeper and more meaningful connections? And give me, if you have some examples.
Sure. And so when we talk about speed, we live in a world that's so fast-paced and rudeness runs rampant. And so we say, okay, how are we going to outclass the competition? Well, it doesn't take much, because in a world where rudeness runs rampant, the only thing that we have to do is be kinder than someone else.
Our perspective, we're flying high. Together we can touch the sky.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Rush Outtrospective, a Mastering the Art of Living podcast. Joy Weaver is a celebrated etiquette expert, author, and advocate for the transformative power of soft skills, and has spent her career teaching people how mastering the art of etiquette, those seemingly small but powerful gestures like a warm smile or a handwritten note, can change the way we interact, build trust, and find success. Her work has helped professionals stand out in competitive markets, businesses transform customer relationships, and individuals gain the confidence to navigate life with grace and authenticity. With decades of expertise and an undeniable passion for helping others shine, Joy is here to share how the timeless principles of etiquette are more relevant and more empowering than ever. So get ready for an eye-opening conversation about how to unlock the full potential of kindness, professionalism, and authenticity in a world that desperately needs it. Joy, I'm so happy to have you on the Rush Outtrospective.
Having me.
The Mastering the Art of Living podcast. As I told you before, we started this has been one of my. I've been thinking about you for a while.
I'm so glad.
And I'm so happy to have you here and to share in the conversation with you, a meaningful conversation about etiquette and so much more. The spirit involved with that, and I feel so blessed to have you here on the Rush
It is a
Outtrospective.
privilege to be here. Thank you, Rush. I appreciate this so much.
Awesome. You've been on this journey with etiquette and a lot of other journeys that encompass in that. What inspired you to pursue etiquette as a way to elevate lives, and how has it shaped your personal journey?
Wow, that's a big, loaded question, but I will start from the beginning.
Yeah.
God takes the most least likely and does the most unlikely. You cannot make this up. I was born and raised out in West Texas, certainly had no idea what the word etiquette stood for. I didn't know how to spell it, didn't even know what it meant. I worked for a large company in Dallas, and one day they said, we have this program that teaches children that are underprivileged. Can you teach an etiquette class to them? Well, of course, in customer service, you say, yes, I can do that. But I had no idea what in the world that meant. So I started looking for an etiquette class and couldn't find one. It took me about 6 months, and I finally did. And when I ended up going over to teach the little sixth graders this etiquette class, I saw in them what I see in executives now. They're like, what are we doing? And then when I left, they said, Joy, Miss Joy, when are you coming back? Because it empowers people no matter what age. So when you learn just the basics, the soft skills, then you can accomplish great things in life because you're more comfortable, you're more confident wherever you find yourself in life, personally or professionally. So then I got this reputation about, she knows something about soft skills. I would find people lined up outside of my door asking me things like, okay, I'm going to this event. What should I wear? Or how do you write a thank you? Well, I didn't really know any of this because at this point I was just reading books. And when you read an etiquette book here and an etiquette book there, they all say different things. And so I found out very quickly I need to get certified. So I was certified by the Protocol School of Washington, D.C. And that really gives you the rhyme and the reason why we do things the way we do.
Wow.
And I was blessed beyond measure to come back and find out that there are big companies that understand the power of their soft skills equals big business.
Yeah. Wow. So, okay, what was the name of the in D.C., what was it called?
The Protocol School of Washington, D.C.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about that. That sounds like the Protocol School of what?
Yes.
What is that? Yeah.
So the most interesting part, I was watching Jay Leno. Now, I had already I knew that I wanted to get certified, but I don't know how you get certified. I'm watching Jay Leno, and Liv Tyler, who is Steven Tyler's daughter,
Yeah.
is on, and he said, "Are you wild and crazy like your dad?" And she said, "No, I'm like my Grammy." And he said, well, "Who's your Grammy?" And she said, "She owns the Protocol School of Washington, D.C." And I thought, did anybody in the world hear this but me? So I write down, I write this down. The next morning I call, her grandmother answers the phone.
Oh my God.
So the next thing, we speak for an hour, and the next thing I know, I'm on a fast plane going to Washington, D.C. to be certified as a professional etiquette expert to actually certify others. So you spend 8 days, 8 nights of boot camp, and you learn how to certify others to become a professional etiquette expert as well.
Wow.
So it was an amazing experience. Then when I came back, my first call came from the world's largest construction firm. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
I spent 3 days with them. I had no idea that was a long presentation because, well, it was my first one. So I say everything after that is gravy train. It has been so easy after that presentation. But here's what the president of that company, which I certainly didn't know, and most of the men, 600 of them I might add, in that company had no idea who he was either, but he stood up and said, "This is the best thing that we've ever done." Because what it does is teaches you about relationships and how to build relationships. And that's the most important thing in life.
Wow. That's amazing to have 600 men, construction mindset, or that persona of being a construction worker, gritty and organic, raw and
That's right.
raw steel and whatever. How did that particular experience when you were navigating through a group of men, what was the one thing that you saw that men really needed the most from that experience?
That is an amazing question. There was one guy that stood out to me. When the very first day, I had no idea what I was to expect. This was my first presentation. There was a small wall, and I heard all the guys coming in, and they were coming in, and they were all sitting down, a big ballroom. And there was one guy who said, I heard him say right behind my back, he didn't know I was standing there, "I don't need this etiquette." He called it etiquette. And I thought, yeah, you did. And so my knees were knocking, but he sat fairly close to the front. And as I started my presentation, I could see the lights in their eyes coming on about 20 minutes into the presentation, and I could feel in their spirits that they were thinking, actually, I think this is going to work. This etiquette thing is going to be something completely different, and this is going to make a big difference in our business. And so this guy, he had a big burly voice, and fast forward about a year, I get a call on Monday morning, and let me just say, this lady said, "Could you come over on Wednesday and teach at my business?" Sure. I said, "Can I find out about how you found out about my business?" As I'm sitting in my world headquarters, which was my second bedroom. And she said, "Yes." She said, "Have you ever been on a cruise?" "Sure," I said. She said, "Do you remember all the place settings and the knives?" "Yes." She said, "My family didn't know anything except my son-in-law, who stood up and said, 'Oh, I can give you all dining 101. And she said, "We just arrived home last night. You were my first call." She said, "My son-in-law stood up and said, 'I can give you dining 101. He taught us which knife, fork, spoon to use. He taught us which glass to use. He taught us all kinds of things that we didn't even know that we needed to know." And I said, "May I know his name?" Guess who it was? The same guy who said, "I don't need this etiquette class." And so while that was a dining experience, I have every story in the world just like that to say the rules of etiquette changed my life because I felt more prepared, more comfortable wherever I found myself. And that's my story too. I feel more comfortable and more confident wherever I find myself because I know a few basic rules.
Wow, that's crazy. That's an amazing story, to have this gentleman, and what he left with was something that he is tangible and that he could apply to his children
Sure.
as they continue, as whatever his family life dynamic is too.
Well, it is because, to speak to exactly what you were saying, what it helped me know is the rules of etiquette don't just change the lives of an individual, but also an entire company and the families of all of those individuals. And so it's really about setting that example.
Yeah.
And we can all do that, and then the world changes.
Yeah, that is so impactful. That's crazy. Okay, so we're talking about the world, right? In a world that's often values speed over substance, how do you see the principles of etiquette creating deeper and more meaningful connections? And give me, if you have some examples.
Sure. And so when we talk about speed, we live in a world that's so fast-paced, and rudeness runs rampant. And so we say, okay, how are we going to outclass the competition? Well, it doesn't take much, because in a world where rudeness runs rampant, the only thing that we have to do is be kinder than someone else. And the rules of etiquette help us do that just by looking in someone's eyes. I always say, they're the window to the soul. I didn't make that up. It's in the Bible. And so if we can establish a relationship with someone just by talking to them, getting to know them, using their name in conversation, and see, it's just the basics. People say, well, what do these little rules mean? Well, guess what? Even if you know where to put a name badge and people can see your name, then they can call you by name. And when someone calls us by name, they've already started a relationship with us right there, because our name is the sweetest sound in any language. And so if we can say someone's name, we can typically remember their name. Next time I see that person, I can call them by name. Perhaps I can remember the conversation, and I can bring up something that we talked about. People just want to feel special. And so in a world where it's spinning out of control, why not just try to remember about people, their lives, what they care about? Because really, I would say, we've got to quit thinking about me. It's all about me. Oh, now I'll quit talking about me, and now let me hear you talk about me. Because that's the way our society is. And if we can talk about other people's likes, then they will love us, and we can build a relationship with them. We can do business with them. And not only that, we can be friends with them and help them along life's journey.
Yeah, that's true. Like like you said, just be kinder. That's one step, and then use their name. Joy, Joy. Many people see etiquette as outdated or unnecessary. How do you counter that perspective, and what does modern etiquette look like for you?
Modern etiquette.
Yeah.
And so I think that most people think that an etiquette expert should be a gray-haired granny with a ball on the back of her head and teaching young children dining. Dining is a dot on the map when it comes to etiquette. And so really it is confusing, because what in the world is etiquette anyway? It's really soft skills.
Yeah.
And so people want to know, what in the world are soft skills?
Right.
And so there's a whole list on my website, justaskjoy.com. I have a menu, and it takes anywhere from first impressions to how to outclass the competition with your dress, tech etiquette, and personalities. All about personalities. And we say, Rush, I wish they would have taught us in the first grade all of these basic etiquette, soft skills. And oh, by the way, parents, they don't really see etiquette as value, but when you call it soft skills or leadership skills, they will pay anything, because that will get their children into the better school. It will get their child into a better job. So whatever it takes, parents will pay, but they don't see it as etiquette until you spin it as soft skills or leadership skills, and it's all the same thing. But you can look at someone and watch them navigate life, and I can tell they've been trained, they've been properly trained, or they're lacking, they just have no idea. I get it, I was that person.
Well, I hope you don't take the example of today because I was running behind of my soft skills or my etiquette. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think you're so right about that. You know, like if I didn't realize that soft skills leadership is etiquette. You know, now there's a correlation I can look at. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna pull up your website and I'm gonna what's the website again?
JustAskJoy.com.
JustAskJoy.com. I'm gonna look. I would say, okay, what am I lacking here?
There's an entire list, and so
Yeah.
anything from professional speaking is actually on there.
Yeah.
To again, you can get dining, a whole lot of dining, because people love to know about it because
Yeah.
it's definitely under the etiquette umbrella. But there's so much more. Mingleability. How do you mingle? People go to events, and what happens is companies send out their employees to go out there and get business at these Chamber of Commerce meetings, or it could be somewhere, some other meeting. And they have hundreds of organizations they belong to. They send their employees out to get business, and what happens is their employees get into the holy huddle and start talking to each other. So they get back to work, and then they say, oh, their boss says, did you get business today at the Chamber of Commerce luncheon? No, but let me tell you what's going on site, or let me tell you what's going on in our own. Well, they already know that.
Yeah.
They wanted to know, did you get business? No, they're just not comfortable. I didn't because I didn't want to break into that conversation. I didn't know how to get out of that conversation. People are uncomfortable breaking into conversations or trying to build relationships with people that they just don't know.
Yeah. So what would be a strategy? What would be one of your strategies to say somebody that you didn't know? What would be one of the first questions you would ask somebody at one of those kind of events?
And so here's what I always say, Rush. When you go to an event, it is not to eat. It's to meet and greet. So many people think, oh, I'm starving, I'm going there after work. They load up with 2 floors of shrimp or who knows what's on the menu. And they start eating, and then okay, let's see, who am I going to talk? That is not it at all. We need to go there with a mission in mind. As we go there, we're watching. I always say body language plays a big part in it. And that's another thing that's on my menu, another item. When you're looking at someone to approach, if they have closed body language, if you and I are talking like this, someone should not be coming up. But if we have open body language like this and we're looking around, we're talking, that's a great time to approach someone. Walk up, introduce yourself, and say, I've been wanting to meet you. Have your business card in hand. We never just schlep our business card. And we don't hand them out to every single person. We offer them a business card. When someone gives you a business card, you take that business card, you look at it, and you don't just like stuff it in your pocket. This is precious gold, and it says a lot to them about what you think. Oh, I like your business card. You see something on the business card, you make a comment about the business card. Again, this is helping you remember their name and who they are. That way you can remember their name in conversation because we've seen their name again. Maybe we saw it on their name badge, and now we're seeing it on the business card. We know their title, we know who they work for, and then you can really start to, perhaps you know someone in the company, you can start to ask questions, not like an interviewer, but really as an interested individual in that person's life.
Okay, that's something I'm gonna make sure the next event I go to that I'm gonna get those business cards. I'm gonna get the business card, read it, look at it, and then process that. As you were talking, I was just like, okay, man, you got to work on that a little bit. Leave the pizza alone. You put the pizza down and pick up some business. Yeah. Just kidding. No, I definitely understand what you're saying though. You go in there, be more. This is not a lunchtime. This is like a business lunch. And lunch and put business before. But that makes a lot of sense.
It is, and there's one more small thing that this is just a very, very small tip. But for example, you're networking. I always say your left hand is your personal hand, your right hand is your social hand. So you are shaking hands, you're waving, you're doing whatever it is socially with your right hand. Your left hand is for your iced tea, your drink, whatever it is that when you're networking, you might have something to drink, but you don't want it here. Oh, here comes Mr. and Mrs. Perfect that I've been wanting to meet. Ooh,
That's good strategy.
and then
Yeah.
my hand is wet. I'm giving a wet, cold handshake. This is all about presenting a great first impression. And so all the tips that I add, it's like a beautiful mosaic. If we practice all of the tips, then we walk in, we're more comfortable, we're more confident. It's not about us, it's about making them feel comfortable. It's about establishing a relationship with them without them even knowing that we've got all of these things behind the curtain intact.
Yeah, that's so true. Walk in there more strategic, just understand. I like this. I like the left hand drink, right hand socialization for sure. Because I was thinking about it. I'm right-handed, but you can't shake somebody's hand with your, you don't shake hands with somebody in your left hand.
Had someone argue with
unless
me
you're
that the
left-handed.
other day. I was like, okay, I'm not going to argue with you on that. You can't shake hands with a left.
What role does empathy play in etiquette, and how can we cultivate it in our daily interactions?
So just understanding others. This is another thing I wish they would have taught us in the first grade.
Yeah.
We're not all alike. There are 4 basic personalities. And so when I teach the True Colors class, which it helps you to understand my personality is completely different than the next person's personality. I don't judge them on my personality. I understand very quickly that they have a different personality. And so I need to be able to communicate on their terms, not on my terms. They should actually send you through that before you get married because opposites attract. And so you think, well, am I broken? Or is my spouse broken? Because one of us is broken because we're not communicating. The fact of the matter is neither one of us are broken. We just communicate in a different way. And every single time in this personality class, you will find out that the opposites attract because it makes us more of a whole person, more of a whole person. That might be one thing I asked the Lord about when we get to I was like, how does it happen every single time?
Yeah, I know. I would definitely say opposite attracts with my wife and I for sure. It's definitely. Anyways, with regards to etiquette or soft skills, when you're teaching, when you're going into an organization, what are some key things that you notice right away that are common tendencies that maybe people are lacking? When you go in and you're going to assist in etiquette or soft skills and leadership. What's the consistent thing that you see?
The consistent thing that I see that people need to understand, again, that it's just the basics. Let me give you this statistic. Oh, you're going to love this. 85% of our success in life is our soft skills. So when you think about whatever we do, so you have a job, you are good at that job, but if you don't have good soft skills, then you have no clients. It's across the board. Now, let me add to that, 70% of job-related stress is not our client, it's the people that we work with. So when I say that when I'm speaking, literally sometimes people will go, I know, it's that person right there, they're driving me crazy.
I told you,
Told you, it's that person. It's the wildest things. I've heard it all. Someone that makes me crazy speaking on their cell phone in their office, the person that eats tuna fish every day in the lunchroom, the person that's clipping their toenails at their cubicle. I've heard it all. Okay, so it's the soft skills that I would say life is like a fine dance. What if we could dance together without stepping on each other's toes? Wouldn't that be amazing that we could all get along? So that 70% of job-related stress where, oh, if that person didn't work for the company, I would love this job so much. We get so tired of it that 40% of us will get our resumes together and go to another company. Now, that could mean picking our families up, uprooting them, moving across the country, getting started, and then we get to this new office, and guess what happens? The same thing. There's the same person, maybe with a different name, a different suit, different dress, but they're making everybody crazy. And so it's that whole thing. So why could we not just train our employees to get along together? It's self-awareness, or I should say lack of self-awareness, that helps us to all, if we can understand how we're perceived and how we should act. Because most companies, they give you a pencil or a computer and say, there's the bathroom, get to work. They don't train you. And so it's not just on what it is that you're doing for a living, but it's also on the soft skills. So there's a lot to the fine dance.
Yeah.
Understanding how to dance together without stepping on each other's toes.
Well, I must be a pretty good dancer because I'm a 17 dance professional ballroom dancer. So.
Wow.
So, anyways, let's see here. No, I don't know if I'm. I know if I was if I had a traditional job where I was working in the office, I think maybe there'd be somebody complaining about me or something. I don't know.
I doubt it.
If you could teach everyone in the world one principle of etiquette, what would it be and why?
One principle. Let's go with this one. It's not just treat others the way you want to be treated. That's the golden rule. The platinum rule, I don't know if you remember this from old school, it's treat others the way they want to be treated. So we understand their personality. We build relationships based on very quickly being able to identify their personality and building a relationship with them. Because relationships really are the core foundation of life.
Yeah, I think you're so right about that. How they want to be treated. Some people require more, some require less. Some people, it's just about finding that sweet spot with people and figuring out how, what personality style they have, or leadership style, or teaching style they learn best in, that kind of thing too. So yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. Let's talk about your book, Socially Savvy. Let's do this. Power tips and avoidable faux pas for business and social etiquette.
That's right.
Talk to me about this.
This is my whole brain for $15.
All right, nice.
The great Zig Ziglar endorsed, he and his wife, the redhead,
Wow.
They endorsed my book years ago, and I love the fact that it's in 3 different sections. It's business, so it's for business people, it's for social people, and it's for manners for minors. What should parents know to teach their children at 5 years old, at 10 years old, at 15 years old? You remember the construction company that I told you about?
Yeah.
They said, bring your book, we'll buy one for everyone. It was my first presentation. I sure didn't have a book. But I said, what would you want in a book? And they said, our employees are business people, they're social people, and they're also parents. So what if we could have a guide for them that would not make them etiquette experts, but help them to be more socially savvy than the next person? How do you outclass the competition, and how do you take it to the next step in building those relationships? This is what it is. It's fun, it's funny, and it will help you to be your very best in 52 different situations.
Wow. Okay, yeah, I need that book. So
It's for you.
awesome. This is awesome. I'm definitely going to be looking through this. I think it's so important. You've in this conversation, I'm listening. It's like, we're fine tuning, Rush, as he comes out and starts advancing a story and the cause of why I'm in podcasting and how I got into it. And just listening to your conversation right now, I've taken away so many things that it's like, okay, this is we're going to have to work in this social environment where you're going to have to change some things and learn some things. So I'm thank you for this. I'm thankful for that. How do you envision the future of etiquette in a world increasingly dominated by technology and virtual interactions?
What a blessing to have technology. Before, I would have had to go around one by one. Now, just like you, Rush, you can just blast it out to the world. Same here. We can polish the world a million people at a time, where before it was like, okay, one at a time, one at a time. Now, the whole world can receive a message at a click. It's one of the things in life, you have to do it. So there's no polishing unless we push the message out. So together, you and I are changing the world by pushing this message out, and we can truly polish the world together.
Yeah, I think it's awesome that we have this opportunity to share time together and share in dialogue together. I was going to ask you, okay, so I got two more questions for you.
Sure.
One's, the first one is, what's exciting in your life, and what are you working on? What do people need to be on the lookout for? Speak to that.
Oh, thank you for asking.
Yes,
See,
absolutely.
That's speaking to my heart, because, whoa, I want to talk about me.
Yeah,
Thank you, Rush.
absolutely.
Well, being here today is certainly a privilege, and I love this.
Thank you.
And congratulations
Likewise.
on what you're doing.
I appreciate that.
It's
Thank you.
amazing. And I know there are big things ahead for you. So you keep running your race with endurance and don't stop
Okay.
every day. Now, for me, I've always said, well, I teach corporate etiquette because I'm certified in corporate etiquette, and I don't teach children. That's what I would typically say. Never say never, because there are many schools that are contacting me. I will be teaching one school district, all of their 8th graders.
Wow.
And there are hundreds and hundreds of 8th graders, and we do it 40 at a time. And we're teaching soft skills, starting with first impressions. Dining is in there. They're going to have so much fun learning how to dine, and all about how to network and dress for success, tech etiquette. So we're teaching them, I call it my basic socially savvy course. And so that's that. Merritt Street Media, with Dr. Phil's Merritt Street Media, has been really great to me. I have a segment on there not every week and not every month, but sometimes it's more than that.
Yeah.
So you just never know. But that's a great way to push the etiquette message out as well. And so there are always businesses. I just got through speaking to a huge law firm just a few nights ago and helping them to outclass the competition. And you never know who it's going to be. I just got through helping 4 bankers polish their speaking image. How do you learn how to go out and make a great presentation? There's an art to it. And then also I had a fireman that was trying to get a promotion. And while he is great at putting out fires, he was a nervous wreck to go in and do a one-on-one. And so definitely was able to help him to feel more comfortable, more confident in an interview. And then also a person who just great at their job, but no one wanted to work with them. And so it's one of those things that, how do you know what you don't know?
Yeah.
You don't know until someone sits down and is able to have a very blunt but kind conversation to say, this would not only help you, this will help everyone that you work with. And so just to give them the tools to do that.
Wow, that last one was amazing. I mean, that's like to have this conversation where you're great at what you do, but no one wants to work with you. That's one of those, having some soft skills and having some, the etiquette and how to approach people a certain way, and deal with any obstacles you have at work. That would be essential. Do you offer? I guess you offer mentoring and one-on-one coaching. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah, and people want to get a hold of you. Where do they go?
They
Where
can
do
contact me on my website, or email me, joy@justaskjoy.com.
Okay.
They can contact me through my website. And of course, you just look me up on the internet and you will find all of my information.
Okay, this is a new segment I've done. Just this, it's a call out where you want to give an organization or a person a shout out on your behalf. Who would you like to give a shout out to and thank or whatever?
For an organization
For anything, like if there's somebody you've had your relationship with in business or in life that you want to, that's been very supportive in your life, this will be an opportunity for you to give them a shout out. Say, I want to thank my mailman for being, delivering my mail, whatever.
yes, absolutely that.
Yeah, no, someone that you really appreciate and admire, or you've had a close relationship with work and what you do. Who's what one organization or individual would you like to lift up right now?
So many. I'm sitting here thinking this is a Rolodex. But let me tell you, there is a group called Gear Up. It's a federally funded program. They identify children in the 6th grade that they say there's no way they will ever be able to go to college, and they probably not even going to graduate from high school because they are so low income. Maybe they're having to raise themselves. And so the government does something right in this case, and what they do is they identify the child and they say, let's gear them up to be a success in life. They have brought me on to help train these children to go out, especially in the 11th and 12th grade. You don't have to go to college, but how do you go out and get the job? Nobody teaches us how to get the job. It's just go out and try to get the job. Well, what if we could be successful in getting that job? Go in, tell them you'll work hard and stay late, get there early and stay late, dress the part, be that person. Get them ready with their soft skills to go out and get the best job that they can. So I love the fact that Gear Up has asked me to partner with them. Also, there is a gentleman and his wife, Scott and Robin and Scott Turner, and they're from this area. They have CEOC. They have also included me in their team to go out and make a difference in their leadership program to kids. If we can change our youth, we can change the world, because the rules of etiquette were taken out of the schools in the 1950s, and now we have all these generations later where people are looking to the right, and then they look to the left and they say, well, I'll just do whatever they're doing, and guess what? They don't know either. And so no one really knows what to do. But once you are empowered with the basic soft skills, then you can truly outclass the competition and you can shine.
Man, I love that phrase, outclass the competition. We're gonna have to patent that somehow, because it really sticks points. I love the fact that what you're doing is impacting children. There's a lot of children that grow up in homes that are single parent, and as a byproduct of one, I know that there were essential tools, core values and principles that if my mom wasn't busy trying to provide for us, that could have been attributed to this area, to parenting and establishing some soft skills in leadership and establishing some core values and principles. So I commend you on that. That's like a beautiful, I'm looking at the next generation and seeing how we can, give them something tangible that'll make them feel good about themselves and propel them forward in whatever they do. So great work. Joy, I'm so happy. Thank you so much for being on. Thank you for your time and sharing the invaluable information. Outclassing the competition is so important to me. So I take this, and again, another little nugget in my pocket. I'm gonna have to get some more pockets on this, because everyone I have on here has so many essential tools that myself and others that watch this podcast are going to benefit from. So I appreciate you, and thank you very much for being part of the Rush Outrospective, and a Mastering the Art of Living podcast.
Thank you, Rush. I appreciate you.
Awesome. All right, guys, that's it for the Rush Outrospective, a Mastering the Art of Living podcast. As I always say, have peace and light in you, and remember that the ocean refuses no river.
Our hearts combine, our perspective, love you. lift each other day by day. Our hearts together like the way. In your world I find my way. You lift me up when skies are gray. Our perspective, we're flying high. Together we can touch the sky.